made you guys like say to yourselves, like, let's get back together and do this again? And how does it feel doing that?
It's been a weird process, and it's been quite a long process because it's been a few, like, probably it's almost 3 years now since we started the conversation about getting back together and doing stuff. So initially that first tour was my first step toward us probably writing, and that was kind of around the idea that we want to take baby steps. We didn't want to rush into it. Obviously a lot of stuff's happened over the years, and there's a lot of conversations that probably needed to be had. So we didn't really decide to start writing, I don't think. Sorry, there's construction going next door. We didn't really decide to start writing till probably January, I think, this year maybe. Or it might have been a bit earlier than that. We kind of just wanted to do the tour, get some time together, see how it felt, do some more shows, and then just kind of rebuild the relationship a bit more. And then start talking about writing. And then, we sort of started writing properly. I think it's this, I'm losing track of time.
You're losing track of it all now.
But yeah, so now it's, it's been since the beginning of the year. Marcus has been writing stuff in the background, Shelton's been working on stuff, and I've always got a book going with ideas and thoughts and lyrics and stuff in it. So yeah, we kind of decided at the beginning of the year, and then once we got into the room and started, Marcus and Shelton got together first. Once we did that, that's when it all started firing, and before I knew it, I had 6 new songs coming through on my phone, and so yeah, that's kind of been the process so far, and it has been a bit slow because I think personally we all just want to take our time with it and just not rush into anything too quickly.
Sounds good. It's probably better to do it slower, to be honest, than just like pump it out too quickly,
Yeah, we've never really kind of been the band that just kind of just writes and writes and writes and writes. It happens in bursts with us, and it usually goes off. Marcus will send something around, or Shelton will have an idea or send a message, or, it just kind of, it's really organic, which is good.
Yeah. I have heard the new track. It is epic.
Thank you. I think everyone I've played it to has kind of gone, fuck, that's definitely Blindspott, man.
Because what was my question anyway? So what's the story behind it? Because it feels very much like a try me type of track, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of is that. We've faced a lot. It's really interesting. When the band broke up, there was a lot of people that kind of fed off that, and that were there kind of, just picking on the bones of the band, and kind of, and then as time went on, and we got a lot of, people in your ear saying you should do this, you should do that. And we've experienced a lot of negativity and a lot of resistance from people, and and I hate to use this term, but a bit of backstabbing and kind of, people just kind of trying to take advantage of you or take advantage of your situation. And I guess that's what this song is kind of written about. It's written about kind of, it is pretty much a come at me, bro. It's definitely, it's one of those songs, and I think for us that we needed to get that off our chest. It was the first song that kind of really naturally fell into place,
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
All that built up frustration just had to come out.
Yeah. Years of shit under the bridge, and so yeah.
Because how are your vocals this time around? Because I can't would you say it's easier to work with now, or is it a bit harder now?
I've learned a lot over the years. I've learned heaps since I first started. When I was the first record, I was coughing up blood and shit and going really hard, and it wasn't going to lead to a long, healthy singing career for me. So I had some coaching, and I've never been formally trained. I've never considered myself a gifted singer or anything. What I've done is I've written my version of my poetry and my truth, and just expressed it the way I think it should be expressed, really. So it was, with experience, you learn a lot, and you learn where to push, and you learn where not to push, and you learn that preparation is the key to a good studio session. You have your lyrics, you have some backup lyrics, you practice, you rehearse, you demo it, you figure out what the tone of it's going to be before you actually go in. And when you go in, it's just a matter of delivery. It's the way you deliver it, or softer, harder, but yeah, it's preparation. We were a lot more prepared this time for this kind of writing phase, because we know what it takes when you get into the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because when I was listening to the track, I was like, okay, this is the vibe. And then you went to the chorus and I was like, this can't be easy, like surely. Like it was just like
it's really interesting, eh? Like it is, I don't know, I've just gotten to know my voice. I know what works, I know what doesn't now. Still experiment. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that there's a bit of a throwback in the song, which was an interesting thing, because what happened was in the bridge of the song, there's actually some suit lyrics in there. I don't know if you heard. Yeah. Because I was because the song is a bit of a come at me bro, so I was like, I just made a bit of a nod to suit because I don't know, I just felt like it was right, and I put it in. I wasn't going to keep it, but Marcus and Shelton were like, nah bro, you got to keep it in there, man. I was like, okay, serious.
So good. So you were working on a new album, and the press release I got sent said you want to release it in volumes. How did that idea come about?
It's kind of I think there's a few things that kind of made that kind of brought us to that decision of doing volumes. One of them is that people consume music differently now. I know that people love albums, and people would probably love an album if we dropped the whole album all at once. But the reality of doing that in COVID, with closed borders, with a producer that we want to work with in Australia or America or stuff, it kind of makes it impossible. So what we've had to do is we've broken it into volumes, because we kind of think that, one, it's going to take way too long for people to get a hold of it as an album. And if we do it in bite-sized chunks, people will actually go through the writing process with us. So as we release the volumes, people will be getting the music as we finish it. So it's kind of like it's more authentic than getting an album that's actually all planned out. What we're doing is we're going, let's write these songs, and we go through phases. Like the first volume of Blindspott material that's going to come out is quite, there's some heavy shit in there. There's some heavy stuff. But I know in the other songs that we're wrapping up and finishing at the moment, and that will be in the next volume, are probably slightly more melodic and slightly more, I don't know emotive, maybe is the word. I don't know. And then there's some experimental shit that we've got in the can that we haven't really played with yet, which means the third volume might be experimental. So we're taking our listeners with us on the journey. And I think for us, we were like, what's the most authentic and honest way we can release a record? What's the current climate? How do people consume music now? And that's just kind of what we decided on. So the album will be called Volumes when it's finished, and altogether it'll be called Volumes, but it'll be coming out in volume 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, definitely being consumed differently now. I still listen to albums, but I find I'd rather make up a playlist of, especially because I feel like there's so much coming out now because everyone's back overseas doing what they're doing. So it's just almost too much now. Well,
the thing is that the physical format dictated albums in the past. You know, the physical format of CDs and records dictated albums. And I'm sure when we get it finished, we'll press maybe some vinyl or some CDs for shits and giggles. But I don't know how many we're actually going to sell of them. You know, so.
Do a vinyl, definitely.
And for us, I think the vinyl thing is kind of, you know, like the prestige and mana and vinyl's a really beautiful thing, you know. So and it's a kind of a keepsake kind of thing, you know.
So I know like some of the guitars and stuff were done at like Crescendo, and then you did stuff with Tiki, and you guys have been working on this in like different places and also together. So is that like your usual process, or was this just sort of like COVID situation had to be everywhere else?
Yeah, no, it was weird because the whole COVID thing is kind of, we were all booked. We had Forrester Seville, who's an Australian producer, who Marcus and Shelton have both worked with City of Souls and I Am Giant. They were real keen on using him, and I met him and had chat to him, and he's an interesting guy, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool, let's give it a go. And then COVID, this whole lockdown, well, they closed the border actually, and so he couldn't come over. And we had a deadline of today, which was supposed to be the Rock 2000, to release the song and play the song. Or not today, sorry, Friday. And so we had to kind of work to that. And we did. And so what we did is we produced it remotely. So Shelton, none of the studios in Auckland were available. So Shelton had to fly to Wellington and track his drums in that studio in Victoria. What's the university down there?
I think it's Victoria.
Is it Victoria? Massey? I don't know. Look, anyway, the university in Wellington. And they've got this amazing studio down there, and he recorded down there. And Forrester basically had a live feed from the desk to his desk in Australia.
Yeah.
And just directed Shelton like he would on, like I'm talking to you now. Oh no, less of that, bro. Play like this, bro. You know, like it's fucking cool, man. Like and then Marcus did the same thing, but at crescendo. And then so we recorded the drums, sent them up. He edited them and put them all together, sent them back. Marcus played guitars and bass. They sent all their takes up. He edited it up and got it ready. Then it came back. Basically, the morning I was driving to Papamoa to Tiki's place, the mix had come through, and I went straight into the studio and sang on that. So yeah, it was kind of it was a weird process, and we were really hesitant, but fuck it worked.
Yeah, because I think I was in the Crescendo Studios when Marcus was like, "Yeah, we're doing the guitar today." I was like, "Oh, like here, like now?" And then he was just like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay." So it's just
that's the beauty of how we track, like, and digital now. Like Marcus has got all of his preamps built into his gear, and there's a clean feed that he gets off the guitar. So if he wants to put anything through an amp, what they do is they reamp it and just run it through whatever they want to run it through, you know, make it bigger or fatter or wider or thinner or louder or quieter or whatever. So yeah, it's awesome. It's changed now. That's made a light bulb's gone off for us now, because now we can probably work with any producer in the world now. You know what I mean? Which is wicked. So I want to work with Terry Date.
You're like, I'm just putting this out there right now.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was trying to figure out when the last time like I saw you guys was, and it was like the Power Station show, which was obviously before first lockdown. I think like it was the last show for all of us pretty much, which was so sad, but epic at the same time.
Yeah, we only just snuck that one in, eh?
We went to lockdown, like wasn't it like a couple of days like later?
Yeah. We were worried they were going to make us pull the show, but we fucking luckily got in there.
I mean, I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah.
But it was also sad because we went to lockdown. I was just like you don't think, you're not like thinking like that's going to be my last show, you know, you're just like in the moment, and then it's like, that was my last show. Okay.
Yeah. And then I think that was like, fuck, and then it was like months and months before we ended up back on the road again. Yeah, that was a fucking nightmare.
Well, speaking of, obviously I was just going to bring up your upcoming tour dates. Are you guys like looking forward to it, or is it currently just hoping it's actually going to happen?
Oh man, like it's one of those things, you know, I hope it happens. I'm kind of, you know, I'd like to think that we will be in a position by then to be doing shows, because it is a little while away, but then you look at what just happened, you know, it just comes out of the blue and bang, we're all in lockdown again, you know. I'm hoping the vax numbers, like I'm vaxxed, I'm pro-vax, I'm like, yeah, let's get on with it, you know. So yeah, it's hopefully we'll either be all vaccinated and everything will be sweet, or you know, we won't have COVID.
Yeah, no, I'm back. I'm very like, it's more also because like I'm watching all the like overseas shows go ahead, and I'm like, I can't do anything with shows unless I'm vaccinated. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Oh mate, yeah, it's, you know, it doesn't, the show thing doesn't bother me so much because like I guess, you know, I don't really go to that many shows anymore, you know, like I do, but not that often, you know. But for people like you who are making a living out of shooting shows and stuff, like it must be a fucking nightmare, man.
Well, it's like everyone's like, I want takeaways. I'm like, I don't care about takeaways. Like, just give me shows back. Yeah,
just give me a gig.
Yeah, like that's what I'm waiting for. It's pretty much like, I was talking to one of my friends as well. We were just saying like the first gig, we won't even care what it is at this point. We'll just be like, I'm coming, cool, see you there. Okay.
Yeah, go to a Wayne Anderson gig.
Yeah, it'll probably end up being like something at Whammy, I reckon.
Yeah. Small bar, small crowd.
Are you guys, because the rock show didn't happen, are you guys going to do an Auckland show?
Yeah, I think we're talking about that at the moment. It's that weird thing where we're so cautious now. Like, we kind of need some. We booked those other shows before it was COVID, so we're going to stick to that. Any other shows in and around that, we've got the Rock 30 gig in Auckland, but we may do a smaller one. But it's that whole thing of like, oh, we're just going to take it easy for a little bit, see how this shit pans out.
Yeah.
But our own Auckland show will probably be, I would say, it'll be in the new year probably. just because we've got all that other stuff going on. We've got Rock 30, give it a bit of breathing space, and then, you know, maybe do something in February or something, you know. But yeah, we'll see.
So people connect so much with your guys' like old music and stuff. So are you looking forward to playing the new stuff?
Yeah, I can't wait to play some of the new tracks. You know, like, yeah, there's probably like already like four that we're sort of working on at the moment are probably like some of my favorite ever Blindspott songs. Like, when we did the first record, we were unencumbered, we were uninhibited by anyone, and we just did the first record. And then we did the second record, and we thought, you know, because people are like, oh, your second record's got to be different, and you've got to use new producers, and you know. And so we did that, and I think the producers we used on the second album were great guys, and they were awesome, but I don't think they were right for our sound. So we got a record back that's brutal and heavy and awesome. But it sounded like us, but it was kind of not right at the time, you know, I think. And so this time around, we've just gone, no, we're doing it our way. We're gonna, no fucks given. We're gonna make the record we want, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's all good. But as long as we're happy with what we're doing and we're telling the truth and the stories are real, then we'll make something great, I'm sure. You know?
Which is how it should be done.
Yeah, exactly, right. You know, like it's weird. Like, you look at these people making albums now, and I'm not saying that they're bad records or bad albums, but I just don't like them. You know, like the new Lorde stuff, I'm like, I don't like it. I like Lorde, whose songs are killer, you know, but I just don't like the tone of that record. You know, the new Billie Eilish stuff, like I kind of got into the whole Billie Eilish vibe via my kids because they're into her, you know. And her new record's kind of like, I don't know. It's lost. For me, it doesn't have that same energy and insight and storytelling that the first record or the other records have had, you know. But that might just be me being a cynical old fuck.
See, I love Billie's new album, but it's more, I break it up. Like, I don't listen to it front to back, but I think it's more because she's got like, it's weird because like there's some tracks that are super slow and some that are like club as fuck, and then it's almost like, I don't know, I'm so used to having music sort of flow, but her album's very chaotic that I just can't listen to it like that. Like, I'm just like, nah, I'll put this in my gym playlist and this one is like in my feels playlist type of thing. Like, I was like, my friend wanted me to ask you if you guys have plans for Oz shows.
Yeah, well, that's, again, you know, if COVID wasn't happening, probably would be, because we do get a lot of requests coming in from expats in Aussie and people saying, come to Perth or come to Melbourne and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, hope maybe, who knows, in 6 months' time when both countries are fully vaxxed, we might be able to go over and do it. I'd love to go back to Aussie. You know, we've got some good mates in Aussie, and yeah, it would be cool to do some shows there again, and Japan as well. You know, I love Japan.
I've just got some fun questions now because I just think interviews are too serious for the most part. Yeah. So what's your favorite snack?
Favorite snack? It depends, if I'm shredding for tour or like getting fit for shows. I love chicken thighs. Boneless chicken thighs are my go-to. Boneless chicken thighs and brown rice, which sounds really random, but go-to snack, I don't mind those pea snacks, I
haven't tried them. I see a lot of people posting about them, but I just haven't yet.
Quite easy demo bag of those,
Is there a recommended flavor?
It's an acquired taste, because like, this is going to sound random, but the ones that don't have flavoring on them, when you chew on them and eat them and breathe out your nose, you get that cat piss smell. It sounds real weird, like, it's, you know, that cat piss smell. But the salt and vinegar ones seem to negate the cat piss smell for me. So salt and vinegar ones are wicked.
Try those. No, I just feel like I'll be just like self-conscious, like trying it. I'm like, do I get to smell this? Yeah. Your most overused phrase?
Send it. Yeah. I mainly do that to piss off my teenage children. You know, they're just like, oh, shut up, Dad, you dick. You know.
Whereas, like, if you were to watch like TikTok now, it's like stuff like yeet.
Oh yeah.
I literally got
there's this awesome dude in Australia called Willem Powerfish, he's an absolute grub, like, he's just an animal, but he has a phrase called "get the dogs," which I use heaps as well. It's just some stupid Aussie slang thing. Like get the dogs. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
It's one of those things as well. I think you don't realize how much you say until like someone will actually like pick up on it, and then you just become really self-conscious of it.
Yeah, hard, man, hard.
If you could start a rumor about yourself or the band, what would it be and why?
Oh, shit.
I love this question so much.
If I could start a rumor about the band, what would it be and why? I don't know. Shit, that's a hard one. One, because normally rumors are notoriously negative, and I want it to be a positive one. Want to start a rumor about the band? What would it be and why? Fuck, I don't know.
I feel like it's hard because rather than having like one set thing, you end up thinking about like all the possibilities about like how you can like blow the band up, or like have this like big thing happen around it.
Yeah, it'll probably be around like because we all love Harleys, right? So it'll be some rumor that would make us get free Harleys. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is all the questions I have.
Oh, sweet. Well, it's good to see you, mate.
You too. Thank you so much.